Hey guys, here I am, Chat with Matt, episode 15, I believe it is the 17th of April 2019. Here we are to shoot the breeze, to answer questions, to talk about whatever comes to the surface. Sorry, there I am. I don't need to see myself on my computer screen. I do need to find out if anyone did ask any questions. Last I looked, no one had, but things happen when I'm not looking. No, not there, but that's in the wrong space. So how are you guys all doing? Hey, Sister Robin, how are you? Welcome on school holidays. Perfect. I was going to talk about that, I think, that because Robin was at my live event last night. I do live events here on the Kapiti Coast in New Zealand once a month, the Tuesday before the full moon, normally, unless the full moon's on a Monday, in which case it's the Tuesday after the full moon. Hey, Sister Kelly, awesome that you're happy and joyful to be with us here, all of us. I'm still trying to work. I'm trying to do two things at once. I'm trying to talk and use my computer, which has never proven in the past to be particularly good for me, unless I'm channeling light language, in which case I can do whatever I want while my mouth is going. But if I'm trying to talk, no, see, no one's asked anything in advance. So we're open to anything. Marina, Matt, school holidays are awesome for allowing time to listen to Chats with Matt live. Perfect, Robin. So yeah, well, I was talking about Robin came last night to our live event down at the yoga school. And I was just contemplating that this morning, and I actually just shared it out with my paid subscription group, my support community, the recording from that event, because it was an awesome adjunct. I'll use that word. That's not a word I use very often. Adjunct to the, oh my goodness, it's time to breathe. Hang on, we're just going to stop and breathe. The bells of serenity. Awesome. So yeah, every half an hour I stop, right? Whether it's my computer telling me or my phone telling me, every half an hour I'm stopping and taking 2 conscious breaths. Yes, I'm doing what I preach. I don't like to think of it as preaching, but I've shared several times over the last month or two how powerful that technique is, and I used it to great effect back in 2012, 2013, 2014, when I was really making big transition in my life, really regaining my own power, so to speak. The transformation that led to me starting to speak light language all came about. Well, part of it was facilitated through me choosing to utilize the tool of conscious, consistent breath, e.g., every half an hour, stopping for 2 breaths, taking 2 deep breaths, and consciously recentering into myself, which is a great tool to cut you out of whatever is winding up within you, the stressors that are starting to wear you down and instigate a stress response in your body. So if you stop every half an hour, and I know that might not work for everyone, but modify it so that it does work for you, right? And consciously choose to relax just by taking some breaths, right? It's not hard. It's not like you need to do any complicated mantras or remember anything fantastic. It's just about breathing and choosing to know who you are, choosing to reset your intentions of how you wish to be in the world while you're taking those 2 breaths. It takes about 30 seconds. And as I think I was sharing I can't remember, because I share in my group and I share here, and I can't remember what I've shared where. But, if you add up doing that for 15 hours a day, twice an hour for 30 seconds, it's 15 friggin' minutes. If you can't invest 15 minutes in your transformation and in your happiness and in staying relaxed and stress-free, then really what level of commitment do you have, right? If you can't find 15 minutes a day. I know it's not just 15 minutes a day because it's 30 seconds every half an hour, 30 times a day, right, for 15 hours. And let's face it, I don't think I've ever done 30 times in a day. That's the truth. You know, I miss them. I'm away from the computer. I've got up to do something else and the bell goes and I'm not there. Whatever, right? It's not that you need to be so rigorous and contracted with it all. Hey, Sister Deb and Sister Jessica, hello, welcome. You don't need to be so contracted and rule-based with it. It's not about fear-based, I must, but it's about choosing to invest time in yourself. I know I'm in swings and roundabouts here because I was talking before, and please, if you're here in the audience and you wish to know something, if something's on your mind, if you want clarification or have a question or a request, please feel free to write it in because I'm basically free forming right now. I don't have a topic. But I was talking about the session I did last night and the fact that hey, Sister Betty, welcome, and Sister Rita. The session I did last night was a great adjunct to the session I did last weekend in the Mantara Transformation Empowerment Support Community, which was really on maintaining this empowered attitude with our growth, like back to basics, right? And as several people commented after the call from my community, who would have thought that back to basics was so powerful, right? Was so comprehensive, was so, I don't want to use the word important, but there was so much power in it, right? I know we all get, enticed by topics of, financial abundance and physical intimacy, romantic relationship, physical health, of course, is a big one and rather foundational too, because as my Swamiji used to say, who, I'm now divorced from, but used to say all the time, your health is not everything, but everything is nothing without your health. And it's true. Hey, Asmina, how are you? So the point is, what was the point? The session I did last night was also very sort of centered around this idea of how simple it is to just maintain the basics of breathing your way through your day in an empowered way. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. I hadn't planned that, but breathing your way through your day in an empowered way. Well, it's a bit basic, isn't it? But anyway, I'll let go of that. It's it, though. It's it. Really, without the foundations, you're pissing in the wind. Sorry to use a sort of a maleism, but I know girls don't normally piss in the wind. But the point is, it's treacherous, and it usually ends in disharmony, right? When we try and build something without having a decent foundation, when we're trying to step into being a facilitator, if we're trying to step into running a business, if we're trying to step into attracting more financial abundance into our life, if we're trying to step into sorting out our relationships or establishing a relationship or getting our health on track, if we're trying to do any of that with the focus on something that we don't have foundation for, it's just not going to work. You're wasting your time. And it's going to get really, really frustrating. It's going to get really frustrating as you continue to try and sort out something, manifest something, if you're not actually supporting yourself and maintaining and building and improving your foundational state of being, right? Your connection with the all that is. I know that's a lofty sort of title, but basically your foundation with yourself, right? I talked on the weekend, I think, about this idea that confidence, which is something I've talked a lot about, and I'm still learning about confidence, right? That confidence really, again, is not something that we need to focus on. I've talked similarly about self-love. A lot of people get very, very wrapped up in trying to love themselves, and it just doesn't work. Self-love, and I think I said this last night in the channeling, self-love is a result of awesome, Kelly. I'm glad you're choosing joy in everything. I'll keep reading that, and I haven't forgotten what I was talking about. Like even cutting an onion. Yeah, just breathe, clear out your lungs, clear out your sinuses. Just breathe and find the beauty in cutting an onion. Exactly. I'm a great fan of onions, actually, especially a cut onion. If anyone gets remotely sick in my house, the first thing I'll do is cut an onion in half and put it in their room, because it's just a fantastic purifier of things. Hey, Sister Simi, welcome. So anyway, what I was talking about is that confidence, and which is more of a recent understanding for me, because I've done a lot of work to help myself improve my confidence, and now I'm authentic confidence, not mental, brash, egoic, I'm right, you're wrong confidence, but this sense of I'm okay, the sense that I'm good enough, the sense that I'm not hopeless, useless, worthless, and I'm still overcoming I'm still working through the ramifications of the tramp I did up to Hopeless Hut over 2 weeks ago now. But no, it wasn't over 2 weeks ago, it was just over a week ago. But anyway, let me get back to it. Confidence, just like self-love, is the result of doing the practice. We don't need to focus on trying to become more confident. All we really need to do is focus on choosing to breathe in and align with who we are, our light, our mana, we call it here in the Māori terminology, but it's our essence, our self-esteem, our I'll use the term light, right? The more that we just keep choosing that, the more that our confidence just naturally builds from within us, and we don't need to mentalize. Yeah, it is important, I believe, and I'm using that word purposely here. I do believe it is important and beneficial to maintain an awareness of where your mind is running, and it is definitely beneficial to choose not to encourage or engage with thought patterns when you become aware of them that are self-derogatory, self-critical, right? We all get that when we start running ourselves down in our mind. And I do believe having an awareness that that's happening, and then choosing to be committed, rather than using the word discipline, because I'm divesting myself from that word, choosing to be committed to not engaging in those thoughts, right? Those thoughts are still going to arise, right? So understand that it's not that you're supposed to stop the thoughts, it's just that you choose not to keep feeding the thoughts. You choose not to keep engaging with the thoughts, not to fight with them and not to run with them, but to choose to ignore them, choose to breathe your way out of them, choose to distract yourself from self-critical or self-derogatory thoughts, disempowering thoughts. That is definitely important. But trying to mentally instill confidence, in my opinion, is starting to become more and more obvious that it doesn't work so well. Because again, you're trying to build something when you don't have the foundation for it. The foundation is down here in the core, in your solar plexus. That's the sun. If the sun ain't shining, you've got shit show chance of growing anything, right? Everything requires the solar energy. Here on this planet, nothing would exist without the sun, right? Well, nothing would exist. Nothing would be alive without the sun. So the point is, in ourselves, if our solar plexus ain't strong, everything is struggling. Physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, everything is struggling. So the point is to stick to, or at least devote a big portion of your spiritual practices into strengthening your solar plexus. And it's just a matter of consciously breathing into it. When you breathe in, feel your solar plexus physically expanding. Direct your breath down into your solar plexus, into your upper abdomen, and choose to do it consciously. So you are consciously feeling an expansion here physically, and also working with your imagination, with your visioning, if you like, to feel that you're building a fire there. In yoga, we call it, in Ayurveda, we call it the Jata Agni, the digestive fire. The Agni, the fire, really is, the furnace that that supplies you with energy. It helps you digest your food, it burns out the toxins, it does all sorts of great things on a physical level, but also on a spiritual, energetic, emotional, mental level. It also helps you to digest life, to cope with criticism, to cope with praise, if that's what triggers you, to cope with whatever triggers you, and to move through it in an empowered way. So, hey, Sister Gemma, and Sister Haley, welcome. So, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to post them. We've still got 12 odd minutes. I was 2 minutes late, so we've got 14 minutes left of chat with Matt, and I'm just free-forming because no one wrote anything in. So, you just get what you get. But the point is, the point that I think I'm trying to make, because I don't know, I just started talking, is please, my friends, choose to devote a portion of your time, a good portion of your time, to maintaining the foundations of just being present in yourself and breathing and relaxing. Because you have to understand that this deep breathing that I'm talking about, breathing into your solar plexus, is an awesomely powerful technique for releasing the stress response, right? Physiologically, when you get your diaphragm moving as you breathe, you are helping to turn off the whatever nervous system is the stress one, whether it's parasympathetic or sympathetic. I keep getting it mixed up, but it doesn't matter. But you're helping to release fight or flight and helping to reignite or reintroduce rest and digest. Right now, we are all much happier when we're in rest and digest. We are designed to spend at least 95% of our time in rest and digest, and only 5% of our time at the most, in my belief, in fight or flight, right? Sister Robin, following on from how to respond to praise, yeah, whatever triggers you, right? Do you have some technique for this? Praise is a definite trigger for me, and in the lead up to the wedding, this has been a little uncomfortable for me. Yes, Robin, well done, right? So Robin's getting married in like 11 days, and I'm going. So, and weddings, I remember my wedding too, and it was definitely very uncomfortable for me at that time to be the center of attention. It was definitely uncomfortable for me to be have that many people wishing me well, right? Because I didn't feel worthy. So the reason that we struggle with praise, any of us, and I've struggled my whole life with praise, I hated being praised for anything because I felt burdened by it more than anything. I didn't feel worthy of receiving praise, and when someone did give me praise, it felt like I had to pay them back, and I didn't really want to feel burdened with having to try and pay all these people back for praising me, right? When I didn't feel worthy of receiving the praise. The point is that as you keep breathing into your solar plexus, you are going to burn out. You are going to burn out the bullshit from your past that has you maintaining a low self-worth state, right? So that's why the foundations are important. And I am going to try, I'm hoping to, I don't know how yet, but I'm hoping to give you a technique or have some insight, some inspiration into how we might cope with it in the moment. So first thing to bring to mind, for the first coping technique to deal with when someone actually praises you, is to be aware that the sense of discomfort that's arising is a reaction to a lie that you're not worthy, right? It's a lie. It is totally a lie. And it's very, very beneficial for you to really remind yourself that you are worthy. You're right, because Robin Christ, you're a beautiful, beautiful person. There's no doubt about that, right? And myself also, right? I recognize that I am a very heart-centered, caring person on this planet, right? So we are definitely worthy, and the lack of self-worth that we're carrying is just the residue of being punished in the past for basically bucking the system when we were supposed to play small and we chose to shine our light, right? So we got punished, we got persecuted, all sorts of things have happened in past life. It doesn't matter. But the point is we're carrying this residue that has us feeling like we're less than because of all the punishment we received. And then that's been reinforced through our childhood and other things, right? Even if our childhood wasn't horrendous, we somehow, because we weren't feeling worthy, we kept attracting situations that proved that to us, at least from our perception, But the point is to remember in the moment when the discomfort arises, that it's arising in response to a lie that you are still believing. And that in each moment of that discomfort arising, you have an opportunity to call that lie out. Now, it doesn't have to be a big song and dance. It just means to feel the discomfort arise and not to make the discomfort wrong, but then just to spend a moment, and it can be just a split moment where you go, I am actually worthy of receiving this praise. Even though it feels uncomfortable right now, this praise is actually warranted. Right, and it's not getting a big head, it's not putting yourself on a pedestal, it's not getting out of control egoically, it's really just bringing you back to some sort of moderation with this habit, right? And I'm still going through it. I still struggle with various levels of praise, although I'm much, much, much better than I was, several years ago. So bringing a mindfulness to it is very important. And when we're dealing with any reaction, right, which is this state of, we feel a contraction occur. Someone praises us and we feel this discomfort arising, and we contract with it. We feel wrong about ourselves. One of the ways to diffuse that wrongness is to stop and take a deep breath. Hold it for a moment and then let it out. And it doesn't have to be as exaggerated as that. It doesn't need to be as obvious as that, especially if you're still in front of someone who's praising you. But it's a matter of choosing to breathe it in and choosing to allow yourself to go through the discomfort, choose to believe that as you go through the discomfort that you're actually releasing it. I know a lot of people, might not think that that's power, that's not powerful enough. That's, who am I to think that my beliefs are so powerful? Your beliefs are shaping the whole friggin' world through your perception, right? Your perception of the world is completely dependent on your beliefs. When you change your belief and start to install some beneficial beliefs, and I'm just going to go off on a side tangent in a moment, but when you really start to install some beneficial beliefs such that when I feel discomfort, I'm releasing discomfort. When you believe that, guess what happens? You start releasing the discomfort. Most of us we've been trained to believe that when we feel discomfort, we're being attacked. And we go on the defense and we contract and we think something wrong's happening. Now, when you contract around the discomfort, guess what happens? You hold on to the discomfort. You have now just closed yourself in around the discomfort, and now you and the discomfort are trapped together. When we feel wrong for feeling pain, we actually trap the pain. If we can feel right about feeling the pain, if we can allow ourselves to be expansive, thinking, believing, naively believing, right? Be as naive as you want, but be naively believing that as you're feeling this pain, you're actually releasing it, then of course you make some fantastic progress and release the pain. It's a matter of consistently, consciously choosing to maintain that belief. Right, to establish the belief and then to maintain the belief. Your old belief is going to keep knocking on the door. You're going to keep wanting to contract around the pain and think that you're wrong for feeling it, thinking you've failed for feeling the pain. Oh my God, I'm so stupid for feeling this contraction when someone praises me, right? That doesn't help. Beating yourself up for feeling beat up does not help you move forward, right? So relax. Breathe deep and relax. Now, this side tangent I've somehow managed to remember is when it comes to changing beliefs, right? Don't focus on the beliefs you want to release, right? In general, the process of transformation happens much more effectively when we focus on the destination rather than focusing on what we're trying to leave. So rather than remembering that you have a belief that doesn't serve you, rather than remembering that you have a false belief that you need to fix all of the time, rather than working on letting go of low self-worth, focus on gaining high self-worth, right? Focus on where you are going rather than fighting what you are trying to be free of, right? Because whatever we fight, we never become free of. It's the truth. So it's not about fighting the old beliefs and trying to fix them, or it's not even trying to release. You can't try and release anything. The very act of trying is an effort that creates bondage, right? So the way to release is to relax, is to stop trying, right? And to gently focus on where you're going. To focus on breathing in, inspiring yourself. As I was talking, I believe I was saying this again last night, that as you're doing these deep breaths, right, you're breathing in what serves you, you're breathing out what doesn't, right? You're breathing in the light, you're breathing out the darkness. The focus is always going to better serve you to be on the inhalation, on the inspiration, and just to allow the exhalation to look after itself. When you breathe in what serves you, trust that as you exhale, what's opposing what you've just breathed in is being released. And you don't need to micromanage that exhalation. You don't need to focus on it. You don't need to try and measure whether you are releasing, to be sure of you are releasing the right thing, right? You don't know what the right thing is. This is not a mental process. When you breathe in, you have the opportunity to envisage vision where you are going, what you're stepping forward into. And I'd encourage you not to get too caught up in the specifics of that too much, but to really, and you can use specifics if it works for you, but to really put your attention on the vibration you're choosing to attain, the vibration of happiness, the vibration of I'm just making sure that's not paused, the vibration of freedom, right? Empowered freedom, happiness, authentic confidence. You're not trying to make yourself confident, but you're choosing to walk towards being confident. And that's just happening as you breathe. As you breathe, you're aligning with vibrations that best serve you. Happiness, freedom, confidence. And as you breathe out, you're just releasing all of the bullshit that you've been carrying from the past, this lifetime or before. When you keep it that simple, it works much better. When you get all frustrated and contracted around trying to fix the discomfort, it don't work so well. Awesome, Robin. So Robin wrote in, thank you, choosing to breathe, relax, and choose positive self-worth, and relaxing around the discomfort as it presents and releases. Yeah, and relish. Really choose to be appreciative of the expansive opportunities you have in your life that trigger you. So this is a difficult one because a lot of people kind of misinterpret it and start trying to be grateful for being triggered. I'm not saying be grateful for being triggered. I'm saying be grateful for what triggers you. And there's a big difference. There is a big difference, right? So don't be grateful for the fact that you've been triggered, but be grateful for the fact that you've had an expansive opportunity, right? And you know it's an expansive opportunity because it's triggered you, right? Every time we step forward into being more of ourselves, we feel the trigger. I was talking in my support community last night. Someone very, very bravely, someone who I've been working with for 3.5 years, stepped forward and put a post on the Facebook group, right? This is in our closed secret group, that they're choosing to be a leader. They're choosing to be a leader. This is someone who has played small for the whole time I've known her, and she's been growing slowly, and then she just put a post on saying enough's enough. Basically, I'm choosing to step forward as a leader, right? And she doesn't know how she's going to do that or anything, but she made the proclamation, and then basically she said, why do I feel so shitty? Why do I feel, I've made this big announcement, this big declaration to the whole of the group, right, in public, so to speak, public, 70 odd of us, a very, supportive, heart-centered group where it's safe to make such declarations. But nonetheless, she felt very triggered by the fact that she'd made that declaration. And I was writing, that's perfect. That's exactly what you would expect, exactly what I would expect of making any expansive declaration, of taking any big step forward, is you feel like absolute death the moment after you do it, because something is actually dying. A part of your egoic self is dying when you do that. Your old story of having to play small to play safe is dying when you choose very firmly to step forward into a more expansive version of yourself. Now, it doesn't need to be making a big proclamation that you're going to be a leader, whatever that means, right? And we're all leaders. That's the truth. We are all leaders. We are all influencing each other, and we're all taking turns in leading each other in various ways. All of my clients influence me in positive ways, right? I've just produced, speaking of something else that's going great in my life, the friggin' sleep package, which has been on my back for months now. This whole year I've been working. I think I even started it before Christmas, did I? Don't tell me. I can't remember when I started it. But I've been working on this friggin' package around sleep for a long time. And I had 2 interactions with different clients last week. I think it was before the weekend. Around, because I had this feeling that it wasn't complete yet, that there was something more that needed to come out around this sleep thing, that, I was wanting to market it. I was actually thinking about marketing it towards the end of last week. And, because basically I want the money. Truth be truth, right? I need to support myself and my family by earning some income from what I do. And launching a package is definitely one way of doing that. But I knew in my heart that the sleep package wasn't ready yet. So, and I was just mentioning this with some clients as I was doing private sessions with them, because we talk, right? We talk. It's not about me just fixing. It's always a collaboration. It's always a chat. Everything that I do, obviously the light language, I sort of, it's not so much chatty. But anyway, both of them came out with good suggestions about what... and one of them was really just very random. Right as we were about to hang up, she just said, maybe something with the Devi of Sleep. And I'd never heard of the Devi of Sleep. But anyway, of course, after that, I meditated with the Devi of Sleep and had this amazing interaction. And one of the other clients was saying, I'd really love you to do more of a journey type experience, which is something I've never really done. So combining the two, I produced... something on whenever it was, a couple of days ago, that's awesome, right? It's awesome. So I've added that into the package, and I've now got a few more ideas. So that package is coming together. The point that I was making is we all get to help each other, right? It's not about some people are leaders and the leaders are helping the followers. It's not like that, right? If you're looking at things in such a black and white way, you're really missing the magnificence of community and unity, the community of unity that we're in, right? We're all leaders. It's time to breathe again. I must have gone for over half an hour. So we're taking 2 deep breaths. Awesome. If you're wondering what that is, it's a little thing called, is it the Bells of Serenity? The Bell of Mindfulness, sorry. The Bell of Mindfulness. It's put out by a group who's with Thich Nhat Hanh. Anyway, it's an add-on that you can put in Google. I believe they have an add-in for Firefox as well, and it just goes on your browser bar, and you can set it for any length of time and different volumes and different bells and all sorts of stuff, right? You can have a strong bell and a light bell and all sorts of things, right? Bell of Mindfulness, if you want to Google that. If you're looking for a reminder, if you spend your time sitting in front of a computer, that's a great one to use. And quite often, I use it as an opportunity to actually get out of my seat and to do some little stretches as well. Spend a minute or two stretching my body before I sit back down and keep going. Obviously, I won't do that right now in front of you all. But... I can't remember where I was going with anything right now. And I know we must have been talking for over half an hour because the Bell of Mindfulness has happened twice in this chat with Matt livestream. So no doubt it's time for me to get off. Hopefully I helped Robin and everyone else deal with discomfort, whether it's the discomfort of being criticized or whether it's the discomfort of being praised, understanding that both of them have similar roots, right, in unworthiness. And keep on keeping on. The sleep package, I know that's what I was talking about. It is getting there, and it is getting better and better, and it is worth the wait. And I know I am not going to allow myself to buckle under the financial pressure of needing to get something launched for my financial benefit. I am choosing to make sure this is the most comprehensive and comprehensive is a big word, but most beneficial offering that I can make, so that it does do what I'm intending it to do, which is to help everyone have a much more empowered relationship with sleep. Not just for insomniacs who can't get to sleep, but for everyone to actually really utilize the benefit of what deep sleep is, right? As I've been channeling from the Devi of Sleep, right? Deep sleep, the sleep state, is a very, very potent spiritual time where our higher selves get to interact, right? Our mind is out of the way, our physical body is relaxed, and all sorts of fantastic beingness happens, right? We are being something very, very open and spiritual while we are asleep. And it's going to serve us all to really draw on that and to utilize it in the most beneficial ways. And that's what this package is all about. It's not just about getting to sleep if you can't get to sleep. It's about sleeping more beneficially, to help heal our body so that it can sleep more beneficially, to wake up in a better mood, to move through the day, and to utilize our dream state as a subconscious purification and ways of getting guidance. All of that sort of good stuff is incorporated, and it's just taking me a while. You know, I've thrown out more than I've created now. I'm on to version 3 of some of the tracks that we've created. So it is taking time, but it's going to be worth it. So my friends, if you have any questions, if you want to know anything at all, if you want to join my Mantara Empowerment, I'm going to shorten this name, right? But at the moment, it's the Mantara Transformation and Empowerment Support Community. If you're interested in that, please just reach out. It's there on my website, mantara.nz or NZ, under Training with Mantara, the first tab. It is a very, very powerful opportunity, very, very supportive for you. It is only $33 New Zealand per month, which is about $25 US a month. And you get a shit ton of content. Of course, you don't need to feel overwhelmed by that level of content. You can pick and choose what serves you. But anyway, it's there for you. I'm very passionate about it because I know that's, you know, the people who I see growing the most are members of that community. You know, and I know there's other communities around it, and I know, but community is very, 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 very important and beneficial for us all. Anywho, my friends, I'm going well over time. Much love to you. Namaste. Speak to you all again this time, same time next week, if not before. Much, much love. Bye for now. Bye-bye.